Hello, Doomers. It is I. I'm back talking to you from the hellscape once again on a bonny Tuesday morning. Uh, it is nice. The sun is shining. It's currently 18 degrees where I am, and Ireland is still enjoying that lovely Goldilocks zone of climate stability. Irish people really don't know how lucky they have it compared to their European brethren, and indeed everyone on every other continent. Of course, it will change. When AMOC shuts down, all the Irish peeps will be living in fucking igloos. And strangely, Irish people don't like the cold, particularly the fairer sex. Quite anti cold. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when the AMOC shuts down and everyone turns into Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining, Jack Torrance, at the end, where he's kind of frozen into a bush. Okay, so oh yeah, it's a nice day in Ireland. We do enjoy a nice moderate climate, never too cold, never too hot. Irish normies are stupid and intellectually vacuous, so they quite envy the boys and girls in Spain who are currently dancing around in fountains while simultaneously melting like Roman candles. But anyone with a functioning brain cell knows that our current climate regime is to be welcomed. It's not something that we should. Uh, uh, yeah, it should be fucking welcomed. You're lucky. You're lucky, Irish normies. Oh God. So yeah, it's a nice day in the hellscape. I am tired. I'm tired this morning because stupidly I stayed up late last night. Usually I don't stay up late, primarily because sleep is one of the last great pleasures afforded to us. Sleep is beautiful. Not the capacity to dream, just being able to sleep and shut off consciousness. It is a supreme blessing which I do enjoy almost as much as nature. Almost. It's up there. It's up there with nature. What does Ian like the most? Nature. Yeah, I love nature. Sleep. Oh, quite like fucking sleep too. So I stayed up late, stupidly, because I wanted to see what happened with the Japanese Nikkei. I think we talked about it on Friday. They were kind of struggling in Japan yesterday. It obviously intensified into a fucking rout. But predictably, there's a dead cat bounce. But I wanted to see last night. I was curious to see how the Asia markets would open, so I stupidly stayed awake until 2:30 a.m. So Japanese Nikkei opens at 2:30 a.m. Irish time. So yeah, I went to bed kind of late, and as a result, I'm underslept. So I'm talking to you this morning because the situation in the doom-sphere is very much like that deep breath before the plunge. So there is this predictable dead cat bounce that's happening in the markets. So the US equity market futures are currently up. The European stocks are struggling, FTSE and the DAX and the CAC 40. So we won't really know how they finish until the US equity markets open. They open at 2:30 Irish time. So that'll be in 2 hours. But I expect a dead cat bounce. But there might be some fragilities in the market, or there's just stuff. There'll be stuff to check. Um, so yes, the deep breath before the plunge with respect to the markets. Obviously, the same is true of the situation in the Middle East. So yeah, peeps were kind of expecting Iranian retaliation last night, or possibly tonight. But the old Iranians scheduled a meeting with the, oh God, what's it called? Oh, Jesus Christ, the Arab Organization. What's it called? There's just so many names and acronyms, difficult to kind of fucking keep track, to be honest. So who do they have a meeting with? Or is this one moment? Yeah, I am half asleep, guys. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So they scheduled a meeting with them tomorrow to discuss retaliatory measures. But again, it could be all smoke and mirrors because the fog of war is descending on the world currently. You wouldn't know if you talk to a normie. They'd probably tell you about their next vacay in Lanzarote or some other fucking godforsaken fire pit. Yeah, this is going to be a bad video, guys. I'm half asleep. Just one moment. I just need some caffeine. Oh, sweet caffeine. One of my many, many vices. Yeah, one of my many vices. Oh yeah, so it is essentially the deep breath before the plunge with respect to the ongoing market crash, and with respect to the presumably inevitable outbreak of a new war in the Middle East, which is arguably a new front in World War III. So yeah, plenty to look forward to if you're a doomer or doomer adjacent, whatever the fuck that means. Um, so yeah, I was just on Twitter this morning, just having the chats with the doomers, just checking a few things, and yeah, sharing a few things. Actually, that I know. On YouTube. Yeah, I know some of you guys comment, and sometimes I don't think I respond. Now, it's not me being a prick. Um, it's just when I use YouTube, I'm not really doing stuff related to this channel. I'm usually just throwing on music, and if I see a little notification, I'll press it and I'll see a comment, but I won't even really know what the comment is in relation to, or the video that the comment is in relation to, and I'm kind of multitasking, selecting a song as a result. I'm kind of bad with the comments. Apologies for that. I mean no offense. Um, I'm not really like Vegematic Deluxe, you know, kind of fucking include essay length responses to comments. Um, but yeah, you know, I should make more of an effort, and yeah, I should make more of an effort to those people who do comment. If you do want the chats with Ian, I kind of live on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So that's where I'm kind of most of the time when I'm online. Now, obviously, I go out for my daily constitutional to observe the absence of butterflies and all forms of wildlife. So I do disconnect for a few hours. But if I am at home, I am online. And if I'm online, I am on the tweet machine. So that's a good place to kind of have the chats with me. You know, I'm always kind of uh, doing stuff there. Um, that's my handle. Yeah, it's like the phone number. You know, I don't know my own phone number off the top of my head. I also don't know the old handle. Oh yeah, okay. So the Twitter handle would be collapse aphorisms at collapse diaries. So it's kind of a ham-fisted crap handle, collapse aphorisms at collapse diaries. But that's where I spend most of my time chatting to the other doomers and kind of, you know, sharing little things that might be of interest to other doomers or things that might inspire a smile because we should be enjoying collapse. We've been waiting for it for a long time, so we should attempt to enjoy the near term loss of everything. Um, and if you're new to the Doomosphere, if you're looking for Doomers, I just go on to Twitter. Whatever about following me or becoming my Twitter friend or whatever the language is. Yeah, just if you look at the people I'm following, they're all the Doomers. So you know you'll be able to track down a few Doomers. I know most of you are OG doomers. You know, you've been doomers a long time. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the other guys, the the people who are new to doom because for whatever reason, maybe they're young, or maybe they just hadn't really thought about biophysical reality up until recently. Um, yeah, I have noticed there were a few comments from people who are not necessarily doomers, and for some reason they were listening to these fucking things. Um, More for them, you know, if you're sort of going down the rabbit hole of doom, and you wanna make friends with doomers, yeah, go on Twitter. That's a good place. Yeah, well, yeah, I know that I said previously that we're going to talk about the news and the places to find doomers today. I'm not going to do that. I lied. I lied. I'm not going to do it. No, I just no, I'm not. I'm not talking about news or tabs. Or, no, 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 I'm not doing any of that today. I will do it in due course, just not at the moment. Just the few days that are in it. I don't want to take a break and make a video and talk about fucking websites and, shit like that. So we'll do that another time. We'll do that another time. I just can't. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. I'm just fucking burned out. And if I had to talk about that kind of stuff now for 30 or 40 minutes, yeah, I'd have a nervous breakdown. Um, yeah, I'd prefer to shave off my left nipple with a Wilkinson sword I borrowed off a leper than discuss the whys and wherefores of the real news this morning. God. How are you? All going well in your corner of the hellscape. We won't talk about the news or that kind of thing today. We'll do that maybe in the next video. It'll be very informative and educational. Very. So obviously I've been kind of living online recently, just in the hive mind of the doomosphere, which I do enjoy and I do love, and I love all the doomers, and they're all bright, fabulous, decent people. Uh, but it is important to disconnect. So yeah, yesterday I was kind of experiencing doomer overload. There was just too much shit coming in from different directions, kind of difficult to process and piece together. And my doomer best mate, I think he kind of figured that with the market crash and the imminent prospect of World War III, that I'd be a bit addled. So he suggested going for an afternoon tipple, which we did. It's kind of surreal, sitting, yeah, kind of surrounded by normies. But myself and my doomer best mates were giving each other knowing looks and, just laughing a lot, poring over recent developments with a glee that some would possibly find distasteful, but to them, I say, fuck off. We deserve this. Fuck us all. So yeah, we're sitting there, but occasionally, because we are doomers, we don't have to eviscerate each and every silence. So occasionally, the conversation would drop for 10 seconds, just so we can, whatever, gather our thoughts or have a drink. And then you kind of hear the normies chatter. It's always surreal, particularly on days where a lot of stuff is happening, world historical stuff is happening, and then you sit next to a normie muppet, and you hear what they're talking about, and you can kind of apprehend the level of delusion they are currently entertaining. So that was strange, sort of sitting down with my doomer best mate. I asked him, does he refer to himself as a doomer? He's still hesitant. Still, yeah, he doesn't particularly like the word, but at this stage, it's just semantics, because he thinks we're catastrophically and irreversibly fucked in the near term. Kind of makes you a doomer. Kind of makes you a doomer. And he's not an apocalyptimist. He doesn't think we are fucked in the near term unless we can do solar radiation management, or, I don't know, cover every inch of the planet with fucking wind turbines, or, sort of generate fucking nuclear fusion. So he has no hope, and that makes you a fucking doomer. You are hopeless. You're hopeless. But hope is the most hopeless thing of all. Because when we hope for something, we are essentially hoping for the erasure of said hope, meaning that we're hoping that something happens that will lead us to no longer need hope. So, hope is the most hopeless thing of all. I think there's a good poem about that. Thomas Campbell, maybe no, that's the last man. Hope, 'tis the most hopeless thing of all. I think it might be William Cowper, if you like poetry, and you want to read a poetic dismantling of hope. Yeah, I'm almost certain it's William Cowper. Yeah, I'm not checking. I'm just going to rely on my capacity to remember things. And I apologize if I misspoke, but we'll just put that down to tiredness or cognitive fatigue, that kind of thing. So I met my Doomer best mate yesterday. We had the chats, particularly about the economic stuff. He loves the economic stuff. Like us all, he's probably a little bit more sad about the breakdown of our climate regime and the concomitant sixth grade extinction. He's bad about that. He's also started to take walks in nature. Previously, he didn't because he's very busy in his job, so he didn't really take walks in nature. He has changed that, so now he's going to some of the places I frequent, some of the nature spots, and like all doomers, he can't see any butterflies apparently on his various sojourns in the nature spots. He is noticing the virtual absence of all flying insects. We won't talk about our winged friends and their existential travails this morning. I will take a walk today. Hopefully I'll see fucking something. Just something. I just want to see so. I was lucky a few weeks ago. They were everywhere. Recently, I haven't seen anything, and it's a source of angst. So I met my Doomer best mate yesterday afternoon. We had a little tipple, as we're wont to do. Then I decided to take a jaunt. I quickly returned to the Doomiser, just check one or two things, but it was the middle of the day, so sort of the market action wasn't really telling at that stage. I figured I'd have to wait until the close to get a good sense of the lie of the land. I also figured if shit happened in Lebanon or in Iran or Israel, that it would happen later in the evening or during the night. So I figured I had a little break or a little window of opportunity. So it was a lovely day yesterday. The sky was blue and the clouds were few, but they were beautiful clouds, and it was particularly beautiful the way the sun was illuminating the clouds. So I wisely decided to skedaddle to the middle of nowhere. So I skedaddled out there trying to catch a sunset. I wanted to see the sunset because it just felt important yesterday to seize the opportunity to witness a beautiful sunset. And I did. I was lucky when I got out to the nature spot. I quickly left the established paths, went off down one of the less travelled trails to something resembling countryside, and I was able to bask in the sunset. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I did enjoy it. The sky was kind of a roseate hue. It was beautiful and almost uplifting. It would have been uplifting if I wasn't struck by the complete silence and inactivity everywhere. No butterflies, no blue damselflies, no dragonflies. There were no dragonflies, and even the bird song was very, very limited. So I did have a nice day yesterday between meeting my doomer best mate and witnessing the sunset. Oh, oh God. Yeah, I must apologize sometimes when I make these things. I'm just looking at one or two things online at the same time, which is dangerous for me because I can't fucking multitask. I can't multitask. Um, but yeah, it's just part of the condition of being a doomer is that pathological need to know, to keep up to date. Um, but yeah, it's also nice just having the chats with the doomers, about this and that. Um, so that's nice too. It doesn't all have to be about SST temperatures or global equity routes. You can just have the chats and have a bit of fun, etc. So yeah, for example, this morning I was talking to a fellow doomer, a lovely doomer, and about my brother, my normie bro, um, who I spoke to recently. And I don't know if I've told you before, but my normie bro is currently saving all of his shekels. He's not spending any money, or he's saving all of his shekels because he wants to go to Australia for Christmas. He wants to take his family to Australia. He has one kid. I have one nephew, 11 years old, wants to be a pilot when he grows up. My nephew is actually currently this week at an aviation school for kids. So, young kids who want to be pilots in 10 years or 15 years, they go to this aviation school. Good luck with that, lads. Good luck with that. But anyway, he wants to go to Australia to celebrate Christmas, which is a terrible idea because it is summer in Australia during Christmas. So he could be experiencing wild temperatures that he's not able to process because he's fucking Irish. He's fucking Irish. We don't do well in 40 degrees, that kind of thing. So it's just fascinating for me. It sounds terrible. The flight in itself sounds horrific. And particularly because he works for an airline. He's not my brother isn't a pilot. He's kind of a logistics manager, or I don't know. I didn't really ask for his job title. He does some shit in aviation, in logistics. But it means he can get cheap tickets to various destinations, but they are indirect flights. So it'll take him forever to fly from Ireland to Australia. So that's fucking terrible. So I just want to know why, bro? Why are you doing this? Why are you saving all your money this year on the cusp of economic collapse? Obviously, he doesn't think the economy is about to collapse because he just doesn't think about anything. Um, but why are you saving up all your money to go to Australia during the summer, during the height of their summer? That's playing Russian roulette with the climate at the wrong time. Or you're playing Russian roulette with the climate at the wrong fucking time, bro. And apparently, there's kind of two reasons that he wants to go and experience Christmas in Australia during the Australian summer. The first, apparently and bizarrely, is the flight. The family are looking forward to the flight itself because it's on one of those massive fucking planes, the 2 stories, probably have a fucking swimming pool, a darts board. And the kid, is obviously very excited to go into this big monstrous plane for, I don't know, 48 hours or however fucking long it takes. So the first reason they want to go to Australia to celebrate Christmas during the Australian summer is because they're looking forward to the flight. So that's arguably stupid. Bro, you know what the fuck you talking about? The second reason that they're saving up all their shekels for a year to go to Australia to celebrate Christmas during the Australian summer is because my bro is dead set on eating Christmas dinner on the beach. He just really wants to eat a roast dinner in extreme temperatures on a beach. It just sounds fucking horrific. A roast dinner. He's gonna eat a fucking Christmas dinner sitting on a beach, and God only knows what kind of temperature range. So yeah, that's my bro's Christmas plan. Uh, yeah, my bro, yeah, he likes traveling as much as any normie. He certainly does it more than I do. Usually he travels inside Ireland, in his fucking car. He spends most of his time driving around aimlessly here and there. But in general, he likes traveling. My father travelled a little bit. I remember when my father was separating from my mother, he decided to fuck off to India for a while. He kind of disappeared for a few months. Yeah, I can't really give you a duration. It was a fairly long period of time. And yeah, he went to India and he did the kind of hippie stuff, went to Goa and that kind of thing. But he also stayed in the larger mega cities. It just sounded fucking terrible. Sounded fucking terrible. And he didn't enjoy it. He said it was fucking terrible. So, for example, one day, he was going to the shop. So he left the place where he was staying, his apartment or whatever, and there was a dead body just outside his door. So he had to stand over the dead body where he was. Apparently, that was a fucking thing. Yeah, that wouldn't be my cup of tea. Yeah, this is going to happen where we are sooner or later. So probably just wait for it to arrive to us rather than go to an Indian megacity to experience that kind of just death everywhere. Um, So yeah, my father did a bit of traveling. My best mate also did a bit of traveling. He lived in Australia for a year, I think, and traveled extensively in South America. Traveled extensively in South America. I remember, he had one funny story about his time in South America. He was in Venezuela. I don't know if this was Hugo Chavez, Venezuela, or just before Hugo. Again, yeah, my mind is mush at the moment, so I don't know the timelines. But he went to a cocaine bar. He went to a cocaine bar, and he decided to have a wee bit of the local product. He was in Venezuela. Why not? Um, so he was there, and he's having fun, and he left thinking that that was a fun evening. I enjoyed those 2 or 3 hours, and that's one for the memories there. That was fun. uh, and then he went about his business, and it was only later on that he realized he was in the cocaine bar for around 2.5 days. Just fucking out of his mind in a Venezuelan cocaine bar. Uh, yeah, that sounds. Obviously, I don't understand traveling, and I don't enjoy traveling. I don't enjoy any aspect of it. I was reading in a recent report that some people view traveling to be essential to their identity. It's part of their identity. To me, that's nonsense. I don't know what the fuck that means. Yeah, traveling is part of my identity. It's stupid. It's stupid. But I was never world curious. I never wanted to visit lots of countries and look at foreign trees and foreign mountains and that kind of thing, or deal with airports. All the logistics also sound ghastly. So even before I was a domer, I eschewed traveling as a matter of course, on the grounds that the logistical aspect and just every aspect was dreadful. It just wasn't appealing. So it was easy for me to decide against doing that kind of stuff. When I was a kid, we went on some local holidays. We'd go to a local beach, with our fucking tent, and we'd go camping for a few days. That was nice in a way, but the idea of international travel, I always found to be repellent and or boring. But I have been to other countries. I have left the Emerald Isle on one or two occasions. So when I was 18, I went on vacation to Turkey. I went on a wee trip to Turkey, which was fucking terrible. Every aspect of the vacation was fucking terrible. Uh, we even went to one of these fucking ghastly resort towns. And I remember when we arrived in fucking Izmir airport or some other fucking airport. And we walked outside and I was just blasted with this wave of fucking infernal heat that I nearly just died on the spot. So we have arrived in the country. I've walked out the door and already I've nearly died. So then we got on a fucking bus and we had to drive to this shithole. What was it called? It was one of the resort places, Kusadasi. We went to fucking yeah, I went to Kusadasi when I was an 18-year-old. Jesus Christ. And on the bus, I was just looking out the window and, oh, everything is orange. Nothing is green. I'm in a wee orange country because I'm Irish. Ireland is the Emerald Isle and it is green, even during the summer. Ireland maintains that verdant hue, presumably because it rains all the time. And when it rains all the time, you do get that lovely verdant hue, which is associated with Ireland, lovely and green. A few years ago, it went orange. There was a sustained heat wave, and Ireland started to kind of go orange, which was very distressing. And will probably happen in the future before AMOC shuts down and we all die. Um, so yeah, Turkey was fucking orange. So then we got to this fucking place, Kusadasi, which was just a fucking shit hole. Fucking shit hole. Uh, just nothing good about it. And there was just drunk British people everywhere. There were tanks on the street. I think there was a terrorist campaign the same week, and there was heightened security everywhere in Turkey. But I remember there was tanks on the fucking street. And yeah, there's the actual location where we stayed was ghastly, irredeemable. I hope there's an earthquake and the place just collapses into hell. Did we do any fun things? We visited the ancient city of Ephesus. The ruins of Ephesus. Yeah. Ephesus was Heraclitus's old stamping ground. Heraclitus is the pre-Socratic philosopher, famous for saying you never step into the same river twice. What he was trying to get at was that everything is in constant flux and change, etc. He was kind of the opposite of Parmenides. But anyway, yeah, his stamping ground was Ephesus. So he wasn't there though. I couldn't have a chat with him. So, interesting. But I was still walking around the ruins of a city with thousands and thousands of fucking British people and fat Americans. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, in Ephesus, we did the tour guide thing. So there was a fucker leading us around, talking to us about Ephesus, and it's just terrible. But yeah, he showed us a wee hole in the ground. So he pointed down at the ground. Look down. So we looked down, and there was kind of a crude painting of a woman's face. So very crude painting of a woman's face. And then there was an indentation in the pavestone, like a circular indentation. So her face was here, then under it you had a little circular indentation. And if you had a coin that filled up that indentation, it meant you had enough money to visit the woman who was a prostitute. And the tour guide told us that that was one of the earliest examples of marketing or advertising. So, yeah, I remember that, yeah. So that was nice. And where else have we gone? Fucking Turkey. Oh yeah, we went to. We drove up a fucking mountain. So we drove up a mountain. I forget the particulars. Of tried to block out this holiday since. Um, and it was me, my doomer best mate. So we went on this holiday with my partner at that time. Uh, yeah, so it was the three of us. My ex has since left the mortal coil. Yeah, she decided to leave. Uh, she became very involved in the environmental movement, but she did decide to leave. Yeah, a few years ago. And also, did she doom pill before making that decision? Whatever. So we went up a mountain to this little shack up a mountain, and apparently the Virgin Mary died in this shack up a mountain in Turkey. So after old Jesus, sort of went off to Daddy, um, Mary decided to fuck off to Turkey and climb up a mountain to a fucking shack and perish. And around the shack, people had just littered the place with shit, like little notes and pieces of fabric, and where they had prayers and wishes scribbled on. Uh, so that was fun. That was fun. It was fucking terrible fucking holiday. Wasn't a fan of the locals either. It was kind of the women doing the heavy lifting, and the guys were kind of spending their time grifting and or annoying white female tourists. Oh God. So I don't recommend Kusadasi. Now, I was also required to go on business trips, just one or two. They were also dreadful. Uh, my last business trip was to France. I went to Lyon in France. Just a big fucking city full of French people. Wouldn't recommend that. There was one nice place I went. We went to Ardèche. Now, this was a corporate thing, so there was a team building aspect. So we went to Ardèche to do team building. And in a part of Ardèche, there's this natural region, and there's a river and a fabulous kind of ravine and cliffs, and there's a river, and they wanted us to go kayaking in pairs down this fucking river to build team spirit. So they took us to a beautiful place and then said, now let's all scramble around the place in the water for a few hours, trying to survive, so as to enhance our sense of team spirit. So I immediately and definitively said, no, that's stupid. I've zero intention of doing that, and I don't swim. So I could use that as my get out sort of clause. Oh, I don't swim. I'm afraid I can't do the kayaking because I don't swim, and I fear I would drown in an inch of water. So for the next few hours, all of my colleagues, and there was a lot of them there, it's just fucking around 35, 40 people, or we're trying to go down the river, screaming, fall around the place, trying to scramble over rocks. It just looked fucking terrible. But there was a wee beach where I could sit on, And I was sitting on the beach. The beach was where they would eventually arrive because it would take them time. So I went to the finish line. So when they finished, I was the first thing that they would see. I'd greet them. Well done, well done. Do you feel like more of a team? Do you feel like more of a team, you sweaty, wet retard? um, but I was sitting on the beach, kind of looking at the ravine and just enjoying it. And an ice cream van parked up behind me. And immediately I was kind of irked at the ice cream van. Now, it was silent, it wasn't playing music or any of that. But I would have rather there wasn't an ice cream van behind me. But then I realised that in France, the ice cream vans sell beer. They sell beer. So that was nice. I made friends with the ice cream van guy, and I had a few beers waiting for my soggy colleagues to eventually arrive, which they did. And that was nice in a way. Certainly, there was some natural beauty in Ardèche. Uh, we did stay at a lovely B&B in the middle of nowhere, and it was in the middle of nowhere, and that was nice. It was beautiful. There was forest as far as the eye could see, so I was quite enjoying that until nightfall. And at nightfall, I was kind of having a wee drink and a cigarette, just enjoying the absence of light pollution and the sound of motor vehicles. Just the buzz of city or town life. I was enjoying not having to endure that, and then just almost on fucking cue, you could hear these explosive sonic booms. Boom, boom. Because apparently that's where the old French Air Force do their shit, practice all their maneuvers, all that kind of stuff. So we decided to go for a nice little relaxing break in a bed and breakfast under the French Air Force's preferred, you know, flying fucking area, listening to these occasional explosions, that kind of thing. So that was my other experience of traveling. And I can honestly say I will never leave Ireland again. I have no urge to leave Ireland. I'm quite happy to stay here. But again, that makes me somewhat of an outlier. I was during the just after the COVID lockdown. A lot of us were meeting with old friends, and I met with an old friend, a childhood friend. He was bright. Back in the day, we would discuss politics. This is when I was particularly interested in politics. He had similar interests. We would discuss, sort of European integration and the possibility of a future military conflict with Russia. Uh, so yeah, that was nice. But we didn't speak for a bit during the lockdown. So I decided to meet him again, afterwards. And yeah, he completely changed. So he was big into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That was mildly annoying, but forgivable. I can understand why people are being lured into the crypto scam, and there is short-term gain to be made. You can make money from crypto. Indeed, you can make money from any Ponzi scheme if you enter and leave it at the right point. So I kind of forgave him that. Uh, he's also started flying. So he's a hobby pilot. So you can see him out in his fucking biplane flying over the hellscape. Uh, yeah, that was less easy to forgive. I did ask him casually, well, how, friend, crypto mate, how long before you think, that hobby flying stuff will be untenable, before you're not allowed to do it. He looked at me very confused, and he said, I don't understand what you're saying, Ian. Sort of, this will last forever, this kind of thing. And I was going, just even from the perspective of oil or whatever, he just wouldn't hear of it. He will be a hobby pilot moving forward. But it's still kind of standard normie stuff. And then it got on to the, I don't know. I don't know how we got onto the subject. Um, oh God. Well, yeah, I don't know how we got onto the subject, but he said to me, we started talking about Mars. It must have been through Elon Musk and SpaceX, something like that. And, the conversation moved on to Mars. And he said that he was 100% certain that we would reach Mars by 2032 at the very latest. Um, Not only will we have reached Mars, sent a manned mission to Mars by 2032. That would happen, but we would also have we will have set up some kind of rudimentary society. And he also believed that there would be tourism and essentially traffic between Mars and Earth. So, sort of people get on the bus to Mars. And he said that one of his life's ambitions is to work on Mars. He does want to spend a long time, working on Mars, but he would be interested, just, I don't know, doing an internship on Mars or something like that, work there for 9 months, experience Mars, then jump on the space bus, back to the blue planet. Uh, so my old crypto mate is certainly interested in traveling. But me, yeah, I'll never go anywhere again. Anywhere again. I would like to see the ocean one or two more times. So I'm going to try to organize something. Maybe take my doomer dad to a very quiet place in the west of Ireland, where we can, just enjoy the ocean and the lovely, seductive lull of the waves, that kind of thing. Um, but just one more. Oh, Jesus Christ. 58 minutes. Jesus. Yeah, this is tiredness, lads. I have just rambled on. I don't even think this was a joyful rant or even an angry rant. I think I'm just kind of somnambulistically just moving my mouth. It is what it is. Yeah, we can't continue. I have one or two other travelling anecdotes, but none of them are particularly entertaining. And it is, it's getting to the time where I should probably re enter the doomosphere. So, yeah, don't listen to this shit. If you do want the chats, go over to the old Twitter machine, over to Elon's digital hellscape. Now, a lot of doomers don't like supporting Twitter or X, because Elon is a twat. And Elon is certainly a fucking twat, but it's the end of the world, so who fucking cares? Uh, Obviously, Elon is a twat because he thinks that depopulation is the greatest risk that we face. And that's ridiculous. We know that human beings are in a wild overshoot and have far exceeded the carrying capacity of the planet. But within the paradigm, depopulation is the biggest risk. So for normies, it is. And that's because the population is a Ponzi scheme. Another Ponzi scheme. It's just they're all Ponzi schemes. They all are. Oh, look, a Ponzi scheme. What's that over? Oh, look, it's another Ponzi scheme. But if viewed from within the paradigm, depopulation is the greatest risk that we face. And that's where we are in 2024 on our blue planet hurtling through space. Yeah, this has been fucking terrible. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I probably will because I'm tired and I don't care. But yeah, I wouldn't. I want to listen to this one. Yeah, I just need to pop back into the Doomosphere, lads. If you do want the chats, claps, aphorisms, and claps, diaries, and you will find me in around a nanosecond, or just type in hashtag collapse. You'll find me in a nanosecond. So until we meet again, Doomers, have a splendiferous Tuesday. Hopefully something catastrophic happens today and we never speak again. Anyway, Lighthouse out.